Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode here at Homie and the Dude of the Sky Realm. I'm Bodhi, your Exceptional Dungeon Master, and I'm joined by our exceptional cast of players. What's up, guys?
What's up, guy?
That's an existential question.
Guys, quickly before we get into it, a couple of shout outs we have to give. Shout out to our editing team, Becky and Ben, absolute bloody legends. You got the art team, Victor, Josh, and Alex. We can't do this without you guys. Thank you so much. And of course, shout out to Underground Oracle Publishing, the official sponsors for this stream. If you enjoy any of the character that Blake plays, if you enjoy the spells that he's using, then all of that lineage and race and everything that has been created is all from Underground Oracle Publishing. So if you like that, go check them out. They just dropped an amazing Kickstarter that funded in less than like a couple of hours. It was ridiculous, and they absolutely superseded expectations. So if you're interested in third-party supplements, go check out Underground Oracle Publishing. They kick some ass. Otherwise, guys, let's do a little recappy. So last time we were together, we had some very interesting stuff going down. We had Arnar face his long-time rival, nemesis, pit guy, as some might call it. You know, the Hannibal pit guy. He's in your pit, and you after encountering him actually had this one of my favorite social encounters ever, where instead of violence, instead of just beating him down, Arnar actually came to the conclusion that, you know, this man is just a fraud, and he knows that he's a fraud, and he's living with that day to day, and that is enough recompense for Arnar, which was absolutely awesome scene to see. However, at the end of that scene, we did end up with Arnar now owning a copy of his own writing signed by his arch nemesis to him, which is really nice. And not to mention, Toad also has a copy of that book signed and actually made out to Toad's friend, who I also believe was Arnar as well in that moment.
Nice little mantelpiece. You know?
Exactly. If we ever need fuel on an airship, you can burn one of those. And from there, we also then had Gio and Evis purchasing some beautifully regal capes from Capes, Drapes, and Cutting Shapes, the clothing store in Uptown. They got some gorgeous capes for the team so that they could blend in Uptown, whether it be before the heist, after the heist, or maybe just in future occasions. Who knows? But these capes are definitely going to be available to you guys, and there are some great choices. Amber described all the capes, and wow, they're absolutely awesome. And I look forward to when characters put those on, us redescribing those capes and going through that. And then the final group was Blanco and Toad, deep undercover as Black Magic and Tea. They entered the Mansurin Fencing Club. They jeweled the beta of the fencing club, Maddox Carlyle, the son of Malcolm Carlyle, ex-daimyo and current leader of the People's Republic. After the duel, they were taken to meet Leopold the Alpha, the gentleman who they are here trying to talk to find out information about how they may enter the Uptown Reservoir for their heist that they will be conducting later today in game time. And after some absolutely freaking incredible roleplay from Tracy as Blanco and Blake as Toad, they managed to get loads of information, managed to thoroughly convinced Leopold that they were fans of his architecture and architecture students that were just wanting to know a little bit more about how the master does it. And from there, you guys vacated the premises. Everyone in separate groups made their way to Anthea's store, which is also Ulfer's store. They're together. And it's called Come In and Take Some Time, but it's spelled cumin and take some thyme, as it is a herbs and spices store. And you guys have just entered this herbs and spices store. You're all kind of gathering in the entryway. You can see stood behind the desk are two young half-orc gentlemen who you know pretty well at this point. You've got Donnie and Nardo who are just next to each other. And at the moment, it seems like what you walk into Nardo is about to put like a spoon of some sort of like brown powder in his mouth, and you've got Donnie next to him going, I bet you won't. Come on, do it, man. And as you guys enter, you just see Nardo just shove this spoon in his mouth. As he does, there's a moment of like silence as he pulls the spoon out, and it's completely clean of the brown powder. And then suddenly, and he starts coughing up brown powder, and instantly the smell of cinnamon kind of fills the room as you guys enter, and you can see that Nardo is just choking behind the counter. Cool, that's our little recap. So, if everyone is sat comfortably, let's begin. So, you guys are here. You've all arrived back. Ulfr has joined you all. You can see the two lads messing around behind the counter. The store smells exquisite. You've got that cinnamon smell in the air. You've got cumin in the air. You've got a bit of that smoked paprika kind of seeping in places. But also, not only is this store gorgeous to the smelling senses, it's beautiful to look at. There's colors of spices all around you. It's just a really, really gorgeous looking store, very immaculately kept, and you can tell that Anthea and the boys are putting in a lot of work to maintaining this store. But over to you guys. You're so as Nara's like, oh God, it's I think I'm choking.
Nardo? You all right? Are you okay?
Can you get me some water? Does anyone have any water? Oh my God, it's so dry.
I reach into my pack, and I have a wineskin. It doesn't have water in it. I'm not sure what it has in it, but I hand it to him.
I believe it has the elixir from Lacrima. I believe is what you filled that up with.
It does.
The healing elixir from Lacrima. If you remember, you filled your wineskin up with the healing elixir, which does have pretty nice healing properties. Are you handing that over?
Well, I'm having second thoughts now, as I remember that it does have this healing property, and I know that all he needs is just a shot of water to kind of clear things out. But I've already made the gesture, so I'm going to follow through and hand it to Nardo and say, hey, take a small little dash of that. That might help you, Nardo.
He grabs it and grabs the bottom of the wineskin and squeezes it into his mouth, and like a bit like it kind of like spurts into his mouth, and some of the water like spurts, some of the like elixir spurts out to the sides, and he's like, oh thank God, oh my God, I thought I was gonna swallow my tongue or something. Oh, it was so dry. He hands it back to you.
I think Evis silently passes over their wineskin full of the elixir from Lacrima just to be like, here you go.
To Gio.
Yeah, you can have this.
Oh, you don't need to do that, Evis. We can sort it out.
Oh. Are we all back together now? Like, are we all here?
Yeah, you're all here.
Because Toad remembers that being kind of strong. Like, I remember when I had some, like, I had to make a save, or else I got a little, yeah. Was that just because I dove into it?
Yes, it's because when you dove into it, you dove into the sap, not the elixir that is mixed with the sacred cider from Lacrima. So they mix the sap with the cider to make the elixir, but you just went straight for sap. You were like, like acid bath, straight in, chilling. Just completely drunk, just a mess. But yeah, Ulfr is going to be like, lads, come on now, what are you doing? Stop being ridiculous. Aren't you meant to be helping your mother? Didn't she say we have stock for you to bring in today? At this moment, you hear the door open behind you, and in come 3 people. Here is let me pull up the first one. First one you know well. Actually, you know 2 of these people. All right, the third one you do not recognize, but the first one is Imani. She walks in with, her hair basically, her dreadlocks with like gold rings at the bottom of them, holding them in place, tied up in a beautiful like bun up on her head, and she's got her like standard, her scarlet scarf that she wears around her neck. And she's just looking super badass as she walks in. in. Followed behind her is a black gentleman similar to Imani's kind of skin tone. Has a top hat on his head that's kind of tilted to the side. Has like puffy hair, like afro poking out kind of the sides of that, and he's wearing a long long pinstripe coat. You can see tucked in at the side he's got like 5 or 6 arquebuses that are like tucked into his coat, and then he's got this like glove with a metal thing, and you will recognize him as Serge, the gentleman who you met in the bathhouse. And then finally, a new person comes in, and let me just see if I can pull this up for you guys.
Oh, Arnar, while you're looking, Arnar, I have a gift for you from your friend. I kind of pull out the book from wherever Toad's keeping a large book. So I guess you would already have seen it. So, you've already seen what it is, Surprise Ruin, but...
Where were you keeping that?
You know, that's, I got you a present. And so I can pull the book. It's from your friend. I think you may have already read it though, so he actually signed it too. What it's worth.
I actually have my own copy, and I take it out.
Sorry, go for it. Go for it.
Well, is everything? Did you end up running into them?
Oh, yes, I did. It was
Ulfr leans in and goes, eventful. Then leans back out.
It's the word I would use.
I don't see any blood, at least, so that's a good sign.
No, there was no need to hurt him. Have you ever looked at somebody and seen they're so very broken that there would be no point in ending the misery that they've put upon themselves?
No, not particularly, but
I
gotta agree with you. I have not, but
I thought that would be relatable. Seems that one was a bit of a miss, but that is sort of the situation. He's just this husk of a person, and without his help, I suppose I never would have met any of you, and that would be a loss I don't think I could handle. So, in a way, I must thank him for being a smarmy, thieving piece of shit.
They can never take Arnar from Arnar. I put out a toad fist.
Tiny little toad fist that just like is like the size of a knuckle that taps fucking Arnar.
The most powerful fist bump. Just.
We have our own handshake, though.
Oh yes, you're right.
Yeah.
I forget. So we're gonna do our complex handshake. So that's what we do. Yes.
So as this group of people have walked in from like behind you guys, and Arnar and Toad begin their handshake. About 3 minutes later, everyone still kind of stood in silence watching this handshake go down as it's in its like 20th intricate step of the handshake before they conclude. By the way, the last person you see coming in is a gnome. Is a very small little gnome, and this gnome does seem to have 2 heads on their shoulders. And they are dressed in like this blue kind of like cloth gown. They have like a leather apron kind of over the top, and slung across their waist is this like belt with loads of different like vials. And you can see each vial has some sort of like liquid that is like some sort of color or maybe like a smoke. You see that one of them has like a spider crawling around in it. And like on their hip, they have what looks like some sort of slingshot that they're carrying. But also under their other arm, they have this like bag that seems to be like, it's like something's wrapped in this like long bag basically. And as Imani comes in, Ulfr turns and is like, guys, pleasure. I'm glad that we've all made it. How is everyone doing? I'm not sure. Have you all met each other? And he kind of gestures to you guys and the other people in the room.
We know him, and of course Imani. I didn't remember your name. I'm talking to Serge.
You see Serge at this moment. He As you see, I don't remember your name. He kind of takes a little step, reaches into his pocket, pulls out like a small arquebus that is probably, like what you consider like, one of those like undercover, like James Bond, tiny little like pistols. He pulls it out, spins it around his finger, pulls the trigger, and a little flame pops up. He pulls out a cigarette and lights his cigarette, spins around, reholsters it, and goes, "My name is Serge. Serge the Messenger Contreras. You don't shoot the messenger. But nice to meet you. What's your name?"
I'm Geo, and these are my friends. We've met. We've already met.
Oh yeah. Oh shit, you were that guy that beat Funk the other night, weren't you? You over there.
Yes, that would be me.
Ah, that was an incredible performance. I was truly blown away, and very much upstaged me in what I was doing that evening. So, thank you for putting on such a display. At this point, you see the little gnome kind of push past Serge's like legs and be like the one with the spiky hair who doesn't have any facial hair starts going, and he's like "Hey, you know what I mean? Are we gonna get this started? Cause we got things we need to be doing. You know what I mean?" And the other one's like, "Yeah, what he said."
Okay. Well, I'm Geo. And I reach out my hand.
"You know what I mean, Geo? My name's Nikki. What's on? What's going on? My name is Nikki. You know what I mean?" And the other one goes, "Tony 2 times. Nice to meet you. Tony 2 times. You know what I mean?"
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. These are my friends. We haven't met, and I just go around introducing everyone to Nikki and Tony.
"Ah, you know what I mean? You all seem like you're nice people, but I can't really tell until I've spent a bit of time with you." At this point, Ulfur comes over and he's like, Okay, twins, calm down. And he like bends down and puts his arm around the gnome and goes, "This here is our twins. These guys are our R&D department. Anytime we need a gadget or tool, these guys can invent and create anything. So they're our like R&D department here for the water runners." Nikki looks over at him and goes, "You know what I mean? Calling us R&D, we're better than that. We're spontaneous science and artificy. We're all about alchemy and all the other kinds of things. You know what I mean?" And Tony then goes, "Yeah, you get what he means?"
Yeah, I think so.
At this point, Ulfur's like, "Well, now that we've all done introductions," and Anthea walks out and she goes, the back room is ready for us." Ulfur goes, shall we proceed?"
I go to Evis and say, "Do we want to tell the group that you might have a job?"
That offer was very summarily rejected.
Okay, but it's still out there. I think she liked you a lot, Evis.
It was very kind, but I think that job can wait until after we figure out. And they like kind of wave their finger just to gesture and mean like all of this.
Waving for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll park it. I'll follow your lead, Evis, on.
Yeah.
But I'm so proud of
in the
you.
parking lot.
Yeah, but can I just say I'm just really proud of you because it was instant. You got a job. We walked into the store and within minutes you had a job.
Bodhi, was this you trying to offer me a job while I was unemployed?
Look, I love my cast, and I try and do things to make your lives better, okay? Like, don't hate me for that, yeah?
The month-related response. I mean, belated response. Okay, back in character. Well, sometimes I can't say what that person was doing, but what I can say is that we have a job now, which is this heist. This is a lot more words than I'm used to saying at once.
I know. I'm just proud of you. I just think she saw what I see, and it's hard not to see that. And so I wasn't surprised at all. I'm sure you're going to get other job offers. You might get one here. I'm just not going to be shocked at all if you come away with a handful of job offers as we're walking down the street.
You see Anthea carrying like a sack of like a red spice and goes, "Hey, we've always got positions," and just like walks.
Yeah, there's one for you.
At this point, Ulfr walks around behind the bar and kind of gestures to the rest of you. Imani kind of leads the Surge and the twins through the door, round behind the counter and through the door, and heads on through. Anything you guys are wanting to do or say before you join them in the back room?
Blanco leans over to Toad and says, "Toad, I want to thank you for bringing me back on track there as we were leaving. Sometimes I get so frustrated with how I'm feeling, and you have such a good, honest nature, and you're so kind, and you made me realize that at times I have to rethink how I act and how I respond to people, and for this I'm very grateful, and I really look forward to us working together on the song for Confo. And I was thinking maybe we could bring my whole family into it. I've been missing them very much, and this makes me really sad, and I muy triste, and it would mean so much if maybe when we are through, you can help me, your music and your musicality and your words. It would mean so much."
Blanco, I would be honored to write a song for you with that. I would be honored to do that and to get your family involved. Yes, 100%. You know, you have my harmonica, you have all of my writing abilities. I would use whatever I can to make it the best song, to make it truly remarkable. So no doubt I would do that. And you have a good soul too. Don't let, sometimes, yes, we all can get into our emotions, and that's not wrong. It's ironic for the way we do. You've dealt with a lot of things, and you've come through. So you help me keep me on track just as much as I may help you. So don't feel like you're not a good soul as well. You help save a lot of people already. So
gracias. And I was just wondering that maybe in the chorus I could howl. I've really been enjoying that in the group. It sort of has brought me a bit of joy. And if we could just squeeze that in, I think when I take
that's already been a part of it. That was never not going to be a part of the song. So
thank you, gracias.
Yeah, but it's going to be a solo too, so hope you're ready, because it's going to be a howling solo. Unlike anything anyone's ever heard, it's going to be pretty awesome. So I know you're gonna crush it. But yeah, it's going to be special.
How are we going to declare to the group that we have the blueprints, or well, my what I could quickly write down.
Ooh, I guess because we're all going to meet up, so I guess we'll let them know in there, because we're going to discuss this stuff right now.
Yeah,
I kind of forgot. We're all going to meet up to.
See, but I know you looked at them a little bit with me, and maybe we together can work out what I have drawn.
Yeah, of course, and good job too. Your drawings are a lot better than what I could at the moment. So seriously, fantastic job with those.
I'm picturing Toad with a big pen in that little hand, like trying to take notes.
gripping Arnar's one pen to rule them all, and just going to town with it.
Toad has he uses both his hands. He has a way to do it. So he has both hands, but he can't. If he takes his time, because he wrote that map, so he takes his time. It can be nice. It just takes a lot longer than a regular person writing. So
that makes sense.
Toad writes like he's like stirring a pot.
Yes.
Amazing.
That's why signatures are so hard. That's why I don't do signatures, because it takes me forever to do them. So that's why I don't give
A
out
little
signatures.
Airbud style paw print or something.
Total, some ink.
I love the idea that R&R is always like, Toad, do you want me to do your paperwork? And Toad's like, no, I can do it. And R&R's like, but it's gonna take you like fucking ages. And he's like, amazing. So you guys kind of continue to follow them through as you're like saying this, and you come into this back room. In this back room, you can see that there's a chalkboard like on one wall. You can see that there's like a table that's been kind of placed in the center of the room, and then there's been like a couple of barrels and like sacks that have been kind of moved around the room to create seating around the table. And as you guys come into the room, you can see Imani is taking her seat at the head of the table next to Ulfur, and then the others are kind of like sitting along the table. And as you come in, Imani goes, please feel free to take a seat, or if you want to stand, do your thing. It's up to you.
I make a point of trying to sit next to R&R, and if I can, I try to send just a symbolic fist bump to R&R, indicating that I'm proud of him for how it went down with Mirados, because I know we had that discussion, and the fact that he didn't use violence. It's probably not appropriate for me to talk about it overtly right now, but I just want to convey to him that I'm really, really super almost inspired by how he handled that.
What's your passive insight, R&R?
I was about to say, I'm very touched. I don't know if I understands. My passive insight's a 13. So I'm not.
Roll an insight check, please.
Oh boy. Okay, here we go.
Let's roll the session.
9.
9. R&R, you sit down, and Geo kind of sits down and does the old like chair shuffle like towards you, and extends the fist, and you can perceive that as you please with a 9. How does R&R perceive that with a 9?
Is this like a trick? Do you have something in your hand? Are you gonna turn it over and there's gonna be like a little ant in there or something? Stand.
Well, I'd love to learn tricks, but no, that's not what I was. I'll talk to you about it later. I'm just really proud of you.
Oh. Thank you. And then R&R kind of very embarrassedly, I guess, kind of turns back towards the main event.
Twitter's just watching, smiling from the back. Twitter's just like.
So as you guys kind of join this congregation, you see Imani stand up, and you can see her stand with an air of like pride and like just like intent in what's about to be said. And as Imani stands, she says, this is the first time in many years that we have had all of the current water runners present in one room. Thank you all for being here and joining us. I know Nikki and Tony, you had things that you were busy with. You see Tony's kind of picking his tooth with like with some sort of like metal thing, while Nikki is just like kind of putting his fingers through his hair, and they kind of look and they're like, it's no problem, you know what I mean? And she's like, so we're here to plan the prison break of Barnaby, and we're also planning how we are going to hopefully steal the water from the uptown reservoir as well. Now, this is not going to be any easy feat, but we have got some things in place, you know, that should allow us to make this a little bit easier for all of us. So first things first, the boys, and she gestures to the back of the room, and you can see that the 4 half-orc lads have come into the room and are stood at the back. The boys have prepared a cart filled with flour sacks that have been cut. If we need to block off a street, or if you think during this planning we need to like block off a street for exit, or like to deter things like that, the boys can be posed and ready with the cart. Pose as someone just moving the cart, and it breaks and, you know, can block a street. We've made sure it's a wide enough cart and will do enough debris and stuff that it will take a bit of time to clean up. It's one thing we have in place. Yes, R&R. Well, yes.
I'm I'm not sure if you are aware, but we have a bit of a contact who is ready to cause a summarily large amount of chaos at our beck and call.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that, but that's even more perfect. Are you? Who's your contact? Who have you spoken to?
Oliver knows her. It's the Carlisle girl.
Oh, she looks at Ulfer. Ulfer looks back and goes, "She's fine." Like gives her the thumbs up, like she's cool kind of thing. Yes, Toad.
Well, I have a question. Are there animals in the city? Like, have you seen lots of birds or anything else like that around?
There's birds. There's definitely birds. You've definitely seen like a couple of stray cats. You've seen bits and bobs like that about. Yeah, there's definitely like stray animals about the place for sure.
So if I had time, so I have a small idea too to maybe help with the distraction. I can talk to the local wildlife and see if they may be able to add to the distraction. A couple of cool birds flying about, maybe see if they can join our cause, because water affects them just as much as it affects all of us. And so
that is a good point. That is a very, very good point. Not to mention, with the Hiko-she, and when they say when she says Hiko-she, what she is referencing is there is a type of guard that you will have seen, like maybe like off at the distance, but there's guards that circle the city, like 2 or 3 a day, that circle the city riding manticores. These guards that are just riding manticores and flying around, and they're kind of like the sky, kind of like defense system for the city. She's like, might be a good distraction for the Hiko-she or something like that. Great shout, Toad. I love that. So maybe after this, if you go talk to some wildlife, that's maybe a good shout. She gestures towards the twins, Nikki and Tony, and goes, you have something for us too as well, don't you? And they kind of climb up onto a barrel and then onto the table, and they roll that like thing that they had under their arm out onto the table. And you can see that laid out in that roll are a couple of different items that are on the roll. Tony goes, "First things first, we got 4 ring-a-ring earrings. I'm not sure who wants them, but we got 4 ring-a-ring earrings, you know? You know what I mean?" And kind of looks around the group. Yes.
Goes, hold on 1 second. I believe that our friend Blanco wanted to say something.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I can wait. Pardon me. Yeah, I can wait. Once they have finished showing their things, I have a little bit of information.
Perfect, Blanco. I was coming to you next, actually, to ask about the blueprints. And Nikki and Tony kind of turn back and they're like, "Yeah, so we got 4 ring-a-ring earrings. You know what I mean? And they're good for contacting your people across the way. So we got 4 of those made for you the other day. And the other thing that we got for you guys is we got 2 KO with Joe arrows here. 2 KO with Joe arrows. And you can see that the things that are on the table are like, they've got little like pendant earrings that seem to have like this purple kind of sheen to them. And then there's 2 black arrows that are fletched with what looks like crow's feathers on the end of them, and just like these savage looking arrows. The tips are like almost barbed rather than like just the standard like arrowhead, and they look absolutely savage. And they're like, you know what I mean? The KO with Joe will put someone to sleep real quick. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, I think I know what you mean. The ring earrings, that's for us to wear and we can talk to each other?
Did you not hear me? You know what I mean? Ring. You ring in each other, you ringing, in the earrings, so you can contact each other. Like a sending spell, but so you don't have to, do it yourself. It's in the earring.
Yeah.
Yes. What could I do for you? You know what I mean?
Will either of you be on the other end of one of these ring-a-rings?
Would you like me to be on the end of your ring-a-ring? You know what I mean?
If absolutely necessary, no.
I can't say I'm not a little bit offended. You know what I mean?
Oh, this is not meant to be offensive. I'm trying to allocate resources in my brain. Did that come up? Oh, I'm sorry. I did not mean to call you annoying. That was not my intent.
No,
I've
it's
been
fine.
told-
You know what I mean? No, it's all good. You know what I mean? I think we got the point. But you know what? We'll be there to help you out in the future, Mr. Arnar. So make sure you don't stab yourself in the old foot there. You know what I mean? And you see the little gnome like turn from Arnar and begin like walking away from you on the table.
Was that a threat?
You know what I mean? As it's the last thing as he just walks towards the edge of the table.
I did not intend to offend.
Ulfr stands up. He's like, the twins can be very confrontational. They've got a lot on their minds. You know, they can be very confrontational. It's just one of those things. You know, it's not something that you can. They're always so in their own heads. Do you know what I mean? Or heads.
I know what you mean, but
It's contagious, isn't it, Arnar? I started
It
thinking
is.
it's the same thing.
it is contagious.
Shit.
Damn it. I think.
Fuck you guys.
I think, in my opinion, it would be prudent to give one of the rings. If we are to split up into groups, I would say there should be 2 for us, 1 for Ulfr, and 1 for the Carlisle girl, if we can get her one.
Imani's like, that's not a bad shout at all. That's not a problem. Okay. Well, thank you guys for your contribution. And you see Tony just kind of give one of these as they're kind of now sat on like the little stool, and you can see just their like heads and shoulders above the table, and they just go and kind of tuck their arms back under and kind of turn away a little bit, and Imani's like, okay, Blanco, turning to you then. How did we do with the blueprints? Did you grab them?
Please excuse my language is I'm not so fluent, so perdóname. But Toad, he's amazing. He made us sound like we are architects, and we are very, very interested. And this meant that we saw the blueprints. We actually saw them, and I was able to write some things down. And it feels like we have some very, very good points of entry. There is a hole in the muralla, the wall, that leads into the locker room on the ground floor, but there is also an access point from the roof, so there is a possibility of us.
Do you have those? Do you have those drawings? Can we see them?
Sí. Mira, look.
So Blanco pulls out the pieces of paper and kind of splays them out on the table for everyone to kind of lean in and have a look at. As you guys look at it, you see exactly what is on your screen for the first page. So you have the first drawing at the top there. You can see it says basement. I have no idea what the word on the left says.
No. This is.
It says train or diary. Is that what it says?
No.
Oh, sorry.
No, por favor, let me explain. So there are 3 rows of cells where they can contain the prisoners, and the first row is 5. Then there are 7, and then 9 cells. In the center, there is this big scanner to scan the prisoners.
Tactical items, I think, right? I think they can check for.
Yeah, checking the personal bodies, if they are hiding anything. But more importantly, it's also there are some drains in case the water barrels, I think, in the next floor should flood. There are 2 drains and a grate. This could be a possibility for escape, I think, more than for entering.
Yeah, I see that. It looks great. You did really well, Blanco.
Ulfr goes, as an artist, I must say, I would say your line work is bloody gorgeous. Not a wavering line anywhere.
Oh, gracias. And then let me show you the first. We say first floor, but I think some people would say ground floor. So it's a bit confusing. Some languages it's first floor, some it's ground floor. It's so confusing. So
isn't that right? Is it 1 or is it 0? Is it 0? Is the first floor the 0?
And I don't know. And some floor people call it mezzanine. Oh, Dios mío.
Imani goes, wow, you did learn a lot from this architect. Jeez.
And as you can see, there is the wall of the backs up. They back up together. They are juntos together, and it is damaged. And I think this could be a very good to enter because there are lockers in this room.
Okay.
And we could put on disguise or something. Yes, see.
First off, this is commendable. This is detective work of the highest caliber, I must say. And secondly, how loud would it be if we were to break through the wall coming into this room? Do we know anyone who might know the spell Mold Earth or the like? Because that might be extremely useful now.
There is already a problem with the wall. I feel it is very weak in this position. Maybe we can crowbar some of it out instead of por dentro, instead of going in. We could maybe bring some of the material fuera the outside. But let me tell you, there is another point of access, and that Toad and I discovered. And Toad, do you remember this, which we noticed on the top? It is
on the roof, right? On the. Mm-hmm. Yes, there's that. Like it's like the like a staircase, right? Like a sort of that goes all the way from the top all the way down.
Correct. There is a staircase but you have a puerta to go down and into this staircase. I think they use it should there be a fire escape or something onto normally the roof or some kind of access, or maybe just even for scouting security they go up on this area. But we could possibly go down if we can dress disguise, but I feel that we have some really muy positive ways for this to happen.
You can see Imani is kind of playing with one of her dreads, just kind of twirling it between her fingers. When she stops and kind of leans in and goes, can you just explain, Blanco, the top drawing on this page, this one here, what's going on in that room? I can see you said barrels and it's a dying room. What can you just break down what you saw in there?
Oh, did I write dying room? Oh, sorry. As I said, please excuse my comment, but it's the drying room, not drying. Oh, dying room. See. It is. What they explained something.
They dye the water where they put the dye into the water.
Of course,
yes,
of course. Okay.
I went to a different direction. I thought it was a really sad room that had just.
It's a morgue. I thought I thought there was a morgue as well. I thought that's where we were going with this.
Yeah, light a candle.
No. It is actually more sinister than that, because I believe this is where they have the barrels of the dye that they then put into the water source.
Imani is like, wow. Well, first of all, thank you. It seems like you. I agree with Arna. You have absolutely smashed this out of the park in terms of our plan here. I guess from what it sounds like, there's lots of points of entry that we could get into. Does anyone else have any questions about Blanco's diagrams? Does anyone else have any questions about the diagrams?
Well, there is a couple things. So for the roof access, like Amani just said, there are those manticores to go around. So there will still be some. Just want to add that in there too.
It's a good point, Toad. It's a good point. The roof may not be our best point of access, but if we need to, it's not a bad one. Yes, let's go. Evis, go for it. I actually haven't heard from you today. How are you doing today, Evis? I haven't seen you.
I'm fine. I'm just taking this all in. You know, it's a lot to handle. And
yes, of course.
As that's going on, I just lean over to Arnar and I say, "This might not be the time, but I mean, I'm wondering if there's room on our business card to add Blanco, because I don't know if I could have done what she did, Arnar. She is, or sorry, they have some skills that we might need."
I am beginning to think that we might be adding the majority of the water runners to the payroll. A nightmare come tax season, but I suppose this is fine. I definitely use the help. This is not at all a bad thing.
Do I hear this? Do I hear this conversation?
Oh, I don't make this. I don't make this quiet.
Can I roll to see if I hear this conversation?
Yeah, go ahead.
You can totally hear it. I'm not trying to be subtle about it at all.
Oh, and Blanco sort of like just is not sure about, you know, that kind of work, and he just feels like he wouldn't be able to do justice to your business. But at the same time, it's sort of like, wow, like R&R, just the fact that R&R thinks like that highly of him also boosts his ego. It's sort of this weird seesaw effect of emotion that he goes through.
Little ego fluff right there.
A general thought is that you could make a business card for the water runners and overall, and so you wouldn't have to edit the business card every time you add somebody.
You know,
but it's but we're not the.
That would be like making a business card for a terrorist cell. I'm not sure that's exactly the smartest of ideas.
We could have
but the thought was, you know, maybe we come up. Yeah.
We could have a front of sorts.
We help the water runners, but we're not the water runners, though. I do want to make that point of clarification. We're not them.
But you know what we could do?
Maybe we're the Sky Flyers or something. You know, we're not the water runners. But
we are the green jalapenos.
Green jalapenos,
yes.
Yes, there it is. I'm sorry, it is.
So we'll call it Umbrella Water Runners Subsect Green Jalapenos. Does that sound good for everyone? Can we all agree upon that? Says Amani.
Green Jalapenos doing business in this moment as the water runners.
I like that. the artist formerly known as the Green Jalapenos, currently known as the water runners.
I would say to still keep our names kind of separate, just for, you know, legality purposes. Make sure there's just like a big distinction. I don't put any kind of connection with it. That's just Toad's opinion.
Hey, Toad, could we maybe put like I don't know, it's like a hologram or some sort of thing on the back of the card, so that when you pass it past a black light or something, it reveals to the people that we want it to reveal to that we are water runners. That would be kind of cool.
I mean, if you want to, I mean, we could. I mean, that's
unless you see the twins perk up for a second, and one of them's like, you know what I mean? That's not a bad idea. I like what he's saying there. Maybe we could create something like that. You know what I mean?
I was thinking more of like a watermark rather than a hologram.
What if the corners on the business card were rounded? They like aesthetically it's appealing, but also it's a little bit more aerodynamic too.
It might cost a little more R&R as well. I'm not sure if we have.
Do we have the expensive? Well, you know, if Toad goes and records that album, we will definitely have a decent amount of expenses. You know, that Julio guy was offering us, you know, like 1,000 gold coins.
Slow down there.
That is Toad's decision to make. I'm feeling Amber lean to Evis a little bit with the business cards. If I may.
Opinion about rounded corners on business cards, they're just gorgeous.
I have a question as R&R though.
Yes.
So the dye that is used in the water, what is it? Like, what's...
So
Would I know anything?
100%. Yeah. You would, especially. I mean, if you were to ask this question out loud as well, you're in a place where Anthea is proficient in herbs and spices and like agricultural. Like she's all about that. So you would definitely know that it is it's a blue flower that is crushed into it's ground into a pulp, and that creates like a blue powder that is then like sprinkled into the water and mixed in, basically.
Wait. Like, flower as in, like, a pretty flower, or as in a wheat flower? I see.
Yeah, like a pretty flower. We're not making we're not making ale, but not here out making some fucking,
Well, like, actually, sorry, I had a brain second. With a nature check, would we be able to figure out what kind of flower it is and like what other properties it might have?
Yeah.
I will say again, if you're asking it to the group, Anthea's happy to lore drop that. She knows her stuff. She's got that shit on lock. She knows her stuff.
Anthea, what is the flower in the water?
So she tells you that it's a blue chrysanthemum.
Oh.
And that this blue chrysanthemum is used in the dyeing process because it doesn't create much taste, but it does give it like big coloration. Like you almost get, like that Walter White, like coloration of water. You get that like blue sky coloration of water through it, And so she says in terms of like actual like properties outside of being a dye, it's very pretty to have on a windowsill, but otherwise the flower is pretty useless outside of that.
It is a dried powder. It's a dried powder, though, correct?
Yes, 100%. Yes, that's
made of
organic. Sorry, it's Anthea. Yes, 100%. Yes, that's exactly right.
So you're saying that because of the immense amount of surface area due to this powder, it is incredibly flammable.
You know what? I'm gonna make you make the luck check. You make the bloody luck check. You make a fate check. Let's see.
D20 or D100?
Let's go with Let's go with D100. Go with D100. Let's go percentiles.
That's the spirit. Okay.
Fucking ain't about no D20 test.
58.
58. With a 58, she goes, I've never tried lighting it on fire myself, I must admit, but most other chrysanthemums, when crushed, do ignite pretty dramatically. I just kind of never, I just assumed that it was similar, but it's not about, you know what? I have a jar in the other room. Let me go grab them and see if we can, work that out for you. And she disappears into the other room to go grab the flower.
Yo, wait!
Or no, the science guy.
I have an alternative idea with that. I don't know. It's not exactly what you're thinking about, Arnold, but if we could have something that was a sedative that we could turn into the same color and it would be equally disguised or taken as the blue dye, we might be able to somehow introduce that to some of the guards into the...
But all that water's for everybody though. So by doing that, you might.
Yeah, I was just thinking as a bag of dye that we have that is meant to be mixed in, but it isn't mixed in, but it somehow is, I don't know how, distributed and sedates some of the guards.
I think that's definitely a plan we can have. I was thinking, is Reshi here, by the way?
100%. Yeah, Reshi's with you guys. Yeah, 100%.
Reshi.
Yes, Arna. What can I do for you today?
Hello. I was wondering how discreet you can possibly be and how well you can light things on fire.
You see her this Haku fire dragon body kind of wiggling in the air and go, discreet, I'll be honest, isn't my best trait, but I will say, and suddenly something happens. You see Reshi kind of freeze up and her eyes roll back into her head for a second. As suddenly you hear a very familiar voice leave Reshi's mouth. The voice says, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but it's so much worse than we thought. I'm at Incendium. That's all I can say for now.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching this episode of Skyrim. We appreciate you sticking around so much. If you enjoyed any of this episode or any of the Skyrim series so far, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and join our Discord server where you can find a fun, diverse, inclusive group of TTRPG fanatics all hanging out and shooting the shit and spending time with each other. That's completely free, and there will be a link in the description. As well as that, we also have our newsletter of holding. So if you are yet to subscribe to our newsletter of holding, it is again completely free, and you get free D&D and TTRPG supplements made by me and us here at Homie and the Dude, as well as also getting updates on all of our latest projects that we're working on and that are upcoming. Most particularly at the moment, our airship combat Kickstarter that will be coming up very soon. So if you're interested in airship combat stuff, definitely go to our newsletter so you can find out what's going on with that. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for taking the time, and we hope that you enjoyed seeing our party gather the water runners for the first time in a very long time, having all the water runners in one room, a momentous occasion as they plan for a heist at the Uptown Reservoir. As the planning continues next session, we hope to see you then, guys. So, catch you in the next episode.